All right, let's get to Jim Nagy's latest offer. It's a Sooner legacy. Let's discuss coming up next. You're on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Sooner Nation? Thanks again for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube, so hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jim Nagy's still making some headlines out there on the recruiting trail. A recent conversation with one Josiah Jefferson landed the 6'4", 6'5" tight end out of Matre Day High School in California, an Oklahoma offer.
Yeah, so we talked about this on the last show where Jim Nagy had his $81 million demand where he was looking for a, guy like Alex Caruso. But what made it funny is he immediately got a response from a former Sooner in Tony Jefferson stating that he's got a little brother that needs to be a Sooner. Well, Josiah was from class 2024, so he's a JUCO player at Southwest Junior College right now, and he's got 3 years left and a red shirt available to be able to play. And so he decided, he's out there shopping himself. And when Nagy saw that message from Tony, he basically said, he retweeted him out and said it was a great catching up with you, great catching up with the former Sooner. And now, last night, Josiah gets an offer from Oklahoma. And he says, after a great conversation with Jim Nagy, I am blessed to have received an offer from Oklahoma University. Now, we got to help him out with that. It's University of Oklahoma, but it's okay. He doesn't understand the old school Big 8 ways. Not too many people even understand the fact that the University of Oklahoma is because of us we're OU while being the University of Oklahoma because of the Big 8. But I digress. It's an old school legacy thing, which that's one tradition I really miss, is having that. The Big 8 was all uniform. Everybody had the U after the letter. Just, you miss all that great stuff. But I digress on that. He's been getting some pretty solid offers. Washington State hit him up. Maryland got him an offer. Cal, Arizona. He's actually visiting Arizona, I think, next weekend. And so Utah has given him an offer. Josiah's starting to come up on some radars. Tight, like I said, 6'5", 2 and some change, tight end, 40-inch vertical, wide receiver. He can play it. He can play them both. I think Oklahoma may have not only do they have the end, they may have found themselves a nice little diamond out there.
Yeah, and this is a guy that it's a developmental option. Like, you have a need at tight end for somebody to step up. Why not throw a bone to a guy that's got the tools and got the size that you want at tight end? He's got the athleticism. Again, Tony Jefferson's little brother. We know how important and impactful Tony Jefferson was at the University of Oklahoma. Give him a chance, man. To me, this is the kind of kid you want to give a chance to.
Yes.
Is someone who is going to understand the responsibility that comes with playing at Oklahoma. He's going to understand the assignment. Like, you got to go out and you got to prove it. You got to go show it every single day. And that's kind of what Tony Jefferson's done all throughout his football career, right? Was really good at Oklahoma, but didn't get drafted, and then has made a really, really nice career for himself at the NFL level. Josiah has an opportunity to go do the same thing. You can't teach 6'5". You can't teach some of the athleticism that he has. You can work on the blocking stuff. You can work on the route running stuff. He's got good hands. Let's make this happen. Let's find a way to get him on the roster because, like you mentioned, 3 years of eligibility, a red shirt available to him. There's a lot of opportunity to develop this kid and make him a part of your tight end, make him a part of your passing offense, and let's see what you can do, man. It's fascinating there. The other intriguing note here is that Brian Harris, the recent Oklahoma defensive lineman commit, has switched up his official visit date to make sure he's around one Jake Kreul.
Hey, look, we talked about him with Brian Smith earlier this week, and he talked about just how talented that kid is. Like, he's just so talented as a freshman. He has so many tools and moves at a young age. It's like he's light years ahead of the competition. And we know that Oklahoma is deep in the trenches when it comes to this conversation. And heck, Jim Nagy even said this after landing Brandon. He basically said it starts in the trenches. And that's one of those positions where we know that he is keyed in and focused on trying to win some players. And man, if Brian's already here, he's trying to he switched him up from the 6th to the 20th. That way he can recruit people to be on the line with him. Man, that tells me that we just landed ourselves an elite pickup with Brian Harris. Man, he may be the MVP of the class if he's out here doing this type of recruiting.
I mean, it starts that way. That's why getting guys like Jaden Jackson, David Stone as part of your 2024 cycle was so important, because it helped peer recruit those other dudes as well. You got Brian Harris out there who, again, Brian Smith likened him to a Jaden Jackson, who at this point in the cycle was only a 3-star at the time. So if Brian Harris can come in and have as much of an impact as Jaden Jackson did with the peer recruiting back then, if they can land Jake Kreul, that'd be huge. Again, Brian Smith was very, very complimentary of both just the talent that he is, but also the person that he is, which seems to fit a lot of what Brent Venables is trying to build in Norman. And what Miguel Chavis has done on the recruiting trail on that front is awesome, man. And if they can land Jake Kreul, that gives them another bona fide edge to add to that defensive line rotation as they continue to kind of just stack talent over the years. I mean, we've got blue chip prospects, blue chip talents on the roster, but you got to keep stacking them. You got to have waves of those guys every single year. And if they're able to land a Jake Kreul, that'd be absolutely huge. An IMG Academy guy, David Stone, Jaden Jackson, that they're talking to him. Oklahoma's interior offensive line commitment, Will Conroy from the 2026 cycle, he's talking to him too, trying to make sure that they get that IMG talent. Anything else we got to talk about here before we wrap up today's show, Jay?
No, look, Jim Nagy's out here giving out his own offers now. That just tell you something about how this staff is working and how Jim Nagy plans on making sure that he is truly ingrained in the success in this recruiting. Hey, we hit a home run with that hire. Just all you need to know.
Yep. Jim Nagy out there making things happen. And that's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Sooners. Thanks so much for tuning in, being a part of the show. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. Follow Jay at Unfair Sports. Go check out his channel, Unfair Sports, over on YouTube. You can follow me at John 9 Williams. You can read my work covering the Sooners over at SoonersWire.com. The show is at Locked On Sooners on all of your favorite social media platforms. But until next time, he's Jay Smith. I'm John Williams. We'll talk to you then. Boomer.
Sooner.